good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Coin King channel. It's your girl, Down to Crypto TA. And today is just going to be a quick update. Again, it's Saturday, so low liquidity. Just going to recap on what we discussed yesterday prior to the FOMC meeting. Jerome Powell speaking. And I didn't even get a chance to listen to what was said because I had some things to do. I had to run off after stream yesterday. But what we looked at yesterday was the fact that the 4-hour time frame indicated that price could get up here to around this trend line here, this line here, I'm sorry, and that you may see some sort of rejection in here. That is what I stated to you. We actually capped over it a little bit, but we're still within this zone in here, and you can see how we've been responding so far. So I'm gonna tell you right now that things do look pretty decent over here, but there is currently, looking at the 4-hour time frame, there is a possibility that price could come back into this zone right here. I'm not telling you that is what's going to happen. I'm just letting you know that there is a possibility that price could come back into here, and anything below here would be a loss of that momentum again. You can come back into here and still maintain that momentum, but anything beyond this point would not be so great. So that's Bitcoin. Let's take a look here at Ethereum. All right. So with ETH, we talked about the possibility of an inverse head and shoulder, and that it could end up being like a complex, and things were still fine at the moment when we did get this rejection point in here. So this inverse head and shoulder played out really good. The idea was that the measured move would take price back up here to around the weekly level here, which is at 4707. It looks like we did come up here to the expand level, or just took the liquidity from the all-time high there prior to getting a rejection off on Ethereum. So that is also good. Let's take a look here at let's see, SUI. So SUI, let's see here. So we still have not gotten back above where we saw prices break down after, was it CPI? Let me just double check here. Yeah, we're still below the sell-off from PPI. I'm sorry, we're still below the sell-off from PPI. But nonetheless, we did get a break to the upside here. Now I don't know that I would still consider this to be a head and shoulder in here at this point. Although nothing was invalidated so far. So it's still not invalidated. But just like the rest of the market, we covered the fact that everything looked like it had a head and shoulder paired with some sort of a falling wedge. And I actually took a SUI long position. Was actually in the position just kind of holding on to it, just waiting for price to really reveal itself. I did the same thing with Bitcoin too as well. So I did I made a little change off of both SUI and Bitcoin yesterday. I did not play Ethereum because I don't really like trading Ethereum, but nice move from the market altogether. So I'm just going to keep this in here just in case, which would be the measure move down here to the golden pocket. But as of right now, things look really decent. Let's just take a look here and see what XRP did yesterday. So XRP, another one, got back above the VWAP in here. The order block that we were talking about, discussing in here yesterday, which was relatively close to our weekly level down here at about 274. But nice bounce up nonetheless for XRP as well. Still they're small bounces, but in the scheme of things, it's just nice to not see prices continuing to fall. So let's just put it like that. See Solana here. I ended up moving this line here because it was drawn across this one here. So this line was touching across this one and coming in. but price was back inside the zone, so I just needed to move it. We came back up here to the weekly range again for another rejection here at 207. So Solana, but that is okay. You just drag. I just wanted to drag this out a little bit. So yeah, nothing much has really changed in terms of targets at the moment for everything, upside and downside. Again, if Solana can continue to push, then I'd be looking for 227 next. And if it falters back down, we can see how the daily level at 198, 195 works. Otherwise, I'd be looking back at 188 to the downside. And BNB finally came up and hit that golden pocket. That is where I said I thought that BNB was going to get to next, to look out for that golden pocket, or either that 786 on a fib extension. So we did reject at the golden pocket here. BNB had been a better performer in the market altogether. And it did get the bounce off of the 786 in here as well. Let's see, ADA. ADA managed to get us a move back. We actually hit that 82, so that was a target that we were looking at when prices was over here. In the event that it moved down 82 to 78, so we actually tapped that 82 this time, and we got the bounce back up. We are rejecting from that weekly level here at 92.80 here for Cardano, but at least we are back above this this weekly descending trend line in here, so that's good. Hopefully we can maintain this. Again, the targets to the downside will remain the same here for Cardano, which is just going to be those three again, managing to maintain the descending trend line here, the 82.43 and the 78.16. Okay, because we haven't taken out, we took out the liquidity here and we broke above this high, but we haven't taken out any of the highs from where we saw price action tumbling down. Let's see, H bar here. Yep. So we didn't quite make our way up here to this trend line in here, which is, yeah, just these two highs here connecting here. We took out the neckline of the W formation, but that is it. And let's see what that measured move actually was here. So I'm just going to see if we hit on that or not. Okay, so we hit the measure move to a T for the double bottom formation here on H bar. Okay, so I just wanted to see that. I'm actually just leave that sitting there. All right, let's see, Floki here came back up to the daily level in which initially we were looking for price action coming to and bounce, and we got that, and that was actually where I bought some Floki at, but it didn't take out this low over here on the, well, actually that's not even a low. So we still have the this inefficiency here down lower, but my gosh, if we stay away from that, that would be great. So we also have the one up here to the upside. So those are the two that I would continue to look at here for Floki. The one up here, and then the one down here. And I'm just going to click on it because there's so many zeros in front. All right, Link. Let's see what Link ended up doing. Okay, so we're still fairly in the same place here for Link. Not quite tapping up here to the 28.34. Just still in the same, yeah, Link. I mean, there's really nothing for Link to do, right? Nothing for it to do. It did reclaim the momentum line in here that we talked about yesterday, that it needed to reclaim this momentum line, and right now it's back testing it, so we'll see how that goes. And then next it'll be the one down here. If it does not manage to hold, I'm not sure why I still have this one here. I'm just going to drop it here. Yeah, I'm just going to drop that there. So that's $24.11. But if we do start to break that on, I'm going to take this away, because that's just, we just keep pushing up through there. It looks like we have some sort of a rising formation in here for link though. Let me see what our difference is. I don't really have a difference in here. So I'm not really going to focus on that right now. Link would just have to take out this neckline in here. It will have to take that out. So far, it hasn't done anything like that. So that is what you'd be looking for here on link. Otherwise, we're looking for the next level up here, 31.75 to 32.64. All right, so hype. Again, another one that hasn't quite taken over the high just yet, but nonetheless, we did manage to get our break above here, and it looks like we just got a bounce off of it. So doesn't look like a measured move was met on this one, but I'm just gonna let me just go with it and see. Yeah, so nothing was met on this one. I probably wouldn't look at this one the same way as H bar anyway. Yeah, but nothing was met on that one. If it gets a push up, I mean, a little bit more of a push up would be into that 45. Right now it's trying to hold here. These levels in here are still really good. So in the event that we do see price come down, if it loses this range in here, if it comes back into this range and it happens to lose it, which is 41.66 to $40.28, and then the one down here is 38.85 to 36.34 here for hype. So that is that. And let's see, let's go ahead and pull these out too. We'll see how the weekend goes. Again, low liquidity. So let's see. You could also say this is just a back test of this descending trend line right here, but it really wasn't much to this trend line in here. So I'm just going to take this trend line away. We don't really need that. And on a push up, we can look for a rejection from this line in here. Sometimes you'll do that, which I am going to, let me see how I got this. Okay. I just want to get a few more touches on this, like that. Okay. So XLM, same thing, just a little small breakout here. Prices didn't really go too far. Just right now it's a nice, you make some decent returns on it, but still not more than we got when we got our move down. So that would be the only thing I don't like here. So XLM, if it pushes up more, I would say around 43.99 or 50 cents here. So 43 to 50 cents there. And then to the downside, I'd be looking at 35. Oh, 34. If we do, we still haven't invalidated. I guess I want to say if this is a head and shoulders, we still haven't invalidated the measured move for this just yet, because we haven't invalidated. I usually like to do the shoulder. We didn't even come up to the right shoulder there. So see Doge here. Now this would be more of a double bottom, and I'm gonna go off of the lowest low in here, and that's perfect. Let's see. I just wanted to see what my intent was here. Okay, I can see it. I can take that off and just use that instead. All right, so maintain above the VWAP. That was great. Double bottom, measure movement on that. Yeah. Still did not quite. Well, I don't think that I would consider this to be a head and shoulder anymore. I'm just going to leave it as is, though, just in case. See TRX here. So Tron. Oh, never ceases to fail. Again, nice round and bottom here for Tron. So we'll see what the sun is up to with this move right here. I'm going to take this away now because we fulfilled this. We definitely fulfilled that. I don't really think I need this here. So actually, I'm going to take all of this away. All of it. Let's see. I will focus on this in here just in case. All right. And we also didn't take out this top in here, but it's still, I love this round and bottom. I just don't know what's giving in here, but I love the round and bottom in here. Not a cup and handy kind of girl, but I know round and bottoms are generally nice the way rounding tops are generally not. So when we got a 33 down here, it doesn't look like we'll be coming back down into that. And 45. So we're far away from 45 at the moment here for Tron. So I don't have any results for us for Tron. I have to wait for this high to be broken at 37. Virtuals. Boy, some things are just performing better than other things. I'm gonna skip this one. I mean, you know the level in here, 137 to 147, and then to the downside, we don't really have a lot here to the downside. No tap into this gap in here just yet. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm still just kind of ranging in here. So I don't know about that. Let me take a look here at theta. All right. All right, so a move back down here for theta. You can look at the top part of here, like 77, if we were to get a move back down here on theta. Let's see if I can still use this or not. I probably wouldn't use that anymore, so I'm just going to get rid of that. It all lined up with the level in here anyway. So first of all, theta does need to hold. You have VWAP in here, but you will start to see it lose momentum if it breaks below there. And then you have the ones in here that can also be a testament to price. And let me go with the most recent one, which is this one right here. Just want to move down. I would look for a really shallow retracement if it continues to stall out in here, maybe 83, and then there's 78 there. If we don't manage to hold up in here, then I would just start to look down here at the lower ones. You got 71 there, and then you got 68, 64 here, which I don't think this is on the table. Not just yet. The measured move for the head and shoulder is still valid until we invalidate it. So just just keep an eye on that. It's really hard to tell what the market is really doing when you have head and shoulder and falling wedges everywhere, and then you get a break up, but you don't take out the shoulder, or you don't really push up too far. INJ, I just want to see if we ever hit that entry for injective, which we probably didn't. We did. We did. How about that? We did. And we hit the take profit on it too. So yay. That executed here. So this was what we have been looking at on stream for a few days here for injective. And it finally did. So I'm just gonna slide this over. Slide it over. And the money maker was at the 3-to-1. And if it decides to give more, then I will be looking up here for this high in here, possibly up to that 16.98. But if that was all that it was given, then it's already met what I was looking for, which was what you see here. So I just wanted to spread that out so we can see it better. So yeah, that played out. I didn't pay attention to it or anything else yesterday after I had to leave, to be honest. So, and to the downside, I will look back at the 1372, and if we do come back below these lows in here, then I'll be looking at 1093 here for injective. So you have your upside and you have your downside here for INJ. All right, see OP. Actually, let me put this back on Ethereum. And I think this was what we're looking at. Why did I have it like that? I don't remember. Yeah. All right. So put this back to 2 and get back on this here. All right. So injective OP. I think this is the okay, I just wanted to see what that was. So all right, so finding a little bit of support here on the top side here, the range at 77 after following that breakout. So this is still valid for moves down. It did take out the shoulder over here, so I wouldn't expect for this to be some sort of complex. We've moved out too far. So actually for OP, I'm just going to take this away and forget about that. Say that that's a done deal. I don't really need this anymore either, so I'm going to take that away. And yeah, so it was a nice hold in here for OP. I would just continue to look up on this one, and let me see on the daily so I can see this one right here. And I put no closures above here, and it must be on the weekly time frame that we've seen no closures above. That can't be the daily. 8103. Hold on. Yeah, so we still don't have a closure above here. I don't know why it was doing that. Let me see. Okay, I drew it off of a 2-day, it looks like. So no closures above here on a 2-day. All right, so we really do want to see price get a closure above this 8103 still, and then the next level is going to be up here in 92 for OP. Drop back on a 4. Actually, let me just pull these. Well, it's just so far out I can't really see it. Just drag them in some. All right. Let's see. Near, and I'm just going to start to click through, just kind of trying to see. Sorry, near here. All right. So near is outside of this descending trend line in here, but still it is sitting right here at where I have a rejection point for it. We'll just see how this goes with near. We still have a larger trend line in here that we want to get above, but overall near chart looks really juicy to me. From a higher time frame perspective, it does. Here on these time frames, not so much, but from a higher time frame perspective, it looks pretty decent. No invalidation yet of what could still be a potential head and shoulder formation here for near. So let's just keep that in mind until we do start to invalidate these potential head and shoulders, that they could still be a thing. All right, and undo. We never got to drop down into here for an undo play. And still no invalidation here for undo either, even though it did come back up. So we'll just let that ride. I'll be looking up here 108 to 118 because we're still not managing to get past this daily level in here. So once we can get past this, and we can talk about some next targets in here, but at the time being 108 to 118, and then you can see what the weekly zone is in here. I would still like this, but no pressure. All right. And let's see, Aptos back inside of the weekly range in here. This actually is a double bottom in here. So let's just see. It looks like if it had a double bottom, it hit it to a T. That's what this one right here went overboard a little bit. Always got to be somebody that shows out. That one went over just ever so slightly, so I'm gonna drop that. We're back in the zone. Let's see. I never put numbers on the top side of this, so 492 to 531. If we do manage to continue to push up here for Aptos, I don't know how many times we'll be able to come back down and bounce off of the 42.29, but we do have some momentum lines in here, so I'm just going to move this and just 456. That's your first momentum line there, and then your second one is going to be here. Don't want to get too far away from that. See, costs. Cost should still have the 10 cents in here. And what was I looking at with this line in here? I can't remember what I was looking at with this line in here, but that may not be relevant anymore. You still have your return in here for a Bollinger expansion there. Otherwise, to the downside, I'd start to look at 7 cents in here if we do break down and don't manage to hold the top side in here around this 8 cents. So 0.0831 in here to 0.078. All right, so I think I'm gonna cut it off here. We're just looking at these altcoins. So Aerodrone, okay, got another push up. And back testing the high of the weekly level in here. Let me just slide this out so we can see what that number is. 143. So just kind of back testing these highs in here around 143. And let's see if Aerodrone had anything else up here. It does. So next move for Aerodrone, if it continues to push up, be $1.85 to $1.98. And if it does start to break down, it looks a lot like Chainlink at the top here. Chainlink is more structured. or at least the pattern for Chainlink looks a little bit more defined than the one here for Aerodrone. I'm not going to draw anything out on it just yet. So that's what I'll be looking for to the upside if it continues to push up. And I still check on this 117 to 108 here for Arrow. All right, so I'm not going to go through the rest of these. I am going to I'm going to drop to a 1 hour time frame here. So if you're going to play around in the market today, I did ride the pump yesterday. I got in on the and good morning to you. I want to be a trader. I got in on Bitcoin yesterday, and I also did a SUI position too. But I was actually already in the market with those moves, so I was a little bit in the hole before the bounce actually happened. But I did talk about yesterday how we were just building up pressure. Like you can see the pressure that we were building up on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, for one, and then the inverse head and shoulder on Ethereum. So I just kind of held on to my position. I wasn't like down bad or anything like that. Just a little small, I don't know, a little small percentage down before we got the pump yesterday. But we ended up hitting target. We ended up hitting target pretty, yeah. So this was the target here. And I mentioned you could probably want to take a short from here, but I didn't trade anything after that. I took my money. I've already closed out both of my positions, both my Bitcoin and my SUI position. So yeah, I did get a chance to ride the pump. I was so happy. We shook out some bears yesterday. All right, let's see. Dominance. Whoa, like whoa on dominance. So Bitcoin dominance did take that tank. This is what we've been looking at for I don't know, maybe 2 weeks now, maybe 2 weeks, maybe just a little bit over a week. But this was the first level in here, so around the 20 SMA here for BTC dominance. It looks like it's trying to put in some sort of a double bottom in here right now. We'll see how that goes. And then of course, let me just drop it to a weekly here. So the 20 SMA here, and then the return here is 54.62 and the expansion is 50.82 here. So we did tap this one right here. I think that just based on how we didn't really take out any highs per se, that there is a chance that we could see it start to come back down again. That's why I'm trying to say be careful, because a lot of the head and shoulders are still there, even though it had those little falling wedges with it. So I don't really know what the market is trying to do. So I'm just trying to give both the upside and the downside on targets, because yeah, I really can't tell what the market is trying to do right now. That's why I quickly just took my profit. If things start to look different, then I'll jump back into something. But right now I'm on the sideline now. And especially with it being the weekend, don't really know how the weekend is going to go either. Ethereum did like kind of sweep that high. It didn't manage to do too much more than a sweep at the moment, but the dominance looked really good over here for Ethereum right now. It looks like it might be trying to put in some sort of a triangle in here. I don't know how well Ethereum plays out, trying to push beyond the all-time high. I just don't see the sustainability of it, but it doesn't mean that we can't push up and then maybe we we just leave a nasty wick on the higher time frame. But yeah. You said people would think it's the start of reverse. Yeah. I'm with you on that. All right, it's a nice move for dominance here. Ethereum dominance, I wouldn't want to see it come back down into this range in here. I want to see it be able to hold in here, but you got let me see. Sol versus ETH in here, and we're still just dancing around in this zone in here. So we're in a reversal zone here for Solana dominance. I'm just waiting for it to do its thing. When that happens, then it'll be, Ethereum will be consolidating with much of the rest of the market if that happens. And then let's see. Okay, so ETH CME did a lot better in here. We'll see what price action ends up going, because we'll probably leave a gap behind somewhere following this weekend. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And then for Bitcoin, let's see. Let me just put this on let me see where we stopped at. Friday. I probably have to go with a 15-minute candle. So 2045. So we're talking about this candle right here. And I'm just going to put a highlight on that candle right there. Actually, you know what? Let me just put a line here instead. 2045. I wanted to... No. I'm tripping. All right. I'm tripping. I'm going to cap lock CME here. And let me put it on the bottom. All right. All right, so if we do push down here on Bitcoin, we would leave a gap at the top instead. Let's see, I don't think any of this is relevant anymore. That was what that's not relevant anymore. So I don't think these are relevant. But again, like I said, price could still come back down into here and still maintain the momentum that I see on the chart for the 4-hour time frame. But anything below this point, anything below in here, and I would say more so around the midpoint in here, so the high in here. Anything, actually, I probably need to keep that one on here. And drop that one. So it looks like anything below here would change that momentum, and we continue to fall down. But right now it looks okay. Just still have to clear out from this range in here. It doesn't really look like it's going to happen. Yeah, it doesn't really look like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to roll over a little bit more. And then there is, let me just switch this to a 4-hour. And that was what I just deleted too. We'll see, because that might disappear. I don't know how many bars this is in on this. Let me see. $12 bars. No, it'll still be there. So I can check back in on that later. But right now, price can afford to come back into here and still maintain the momentum to just drop here and swoop up and then continue up here for Biddy. I'm going to delete that and delete this. All right. I need to remap here on the 15-minute time frame because I did not. I'm probably just going to leave this one alone. It's the weekend, people, so be safe. All right, and this was just supposed to be a little quick update in here for me. Green market so far. Lots of green. A sea of white wine in here. So look at Gala. People still trading Gala? Oh. Interesting. Top 100. Let's take a look at the... Yeah. Lots of green. Lots of green. So if you're holding something and it's not green, let it go. All right, let me just back on this. All right, so that's really all I have. I would just watch that. Again, the thing about Ethereum is simple. Simply put, hide that. I'm just gonna this again. It is green. It is very green, and it is rising in here. It's green and it's rising. I just don't feel like it's sustainable. That's all. I just don't feel like it's sustainable. What's our high in here? 4, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. I just don't feel like it's sustainable, but it is rising. So maybe I just need to lean with that. And we did flip green because we are outside of standard deviation too. It just doesn't look like a place where price action would trade above. But again, it's rising. So I would just have to let that be. I probably get nothing off of the 6 month, and I don't. I don't know about that. Oh boy. We'll see. Again, I mean, it just doesn't look like something that we'd be trading outside of. It looks like we would consolidate for a while, build up a squeeze, and then get a push out. I don't like it, but markets are here to surprise us, so it will do what it will do. All right, so that is my Saturday morning update here on a couple of the altcoins, what we looked at yesterday, what you can probably expect from the market today. So look out for that 113, 386.31 here for Bitcoin, because it does look like we're going to start to roll down just a little bit. So don't get, overly excited on the market pump from yesterday. And with that said, I will be back on Monday. And everyone have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.